Hi guys, this is hopefully going to be a short-ish video where I ask for feedback from you regarding the spectator settings for Half-Life Alyx, the VR game. I'm actually in the VR headset at the moment. You can see my hands on the controllers, but what you are seeing is a projection onto my screen, and it's actually pretty good in this game. They've got smoothing. For those of you that don't know and have never seen VR footage, it's reasonably hard to watch for a lot of people because it's quite shaky. In fact, you're almost certainly even now noticing some shakes when I'm talking. And that's because the headset is kind of like a camera attached to my face. And every time I say something, the muscles on my face move, so the headset moves. It's why talking is probably one of the worst things to do when recording VR footage. However, this game does have quite good smoothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move around a little bit and let you see what the movement is like. I'm going to try not to do as much talking. So I'm going to start by just standing on the spot and moving my feet up and down and not talking. And I'll try and look around a little. And I'm also going to try and do a little bit of sort of both talking and moving. Now this is the high smoothing setting. One problem with the high smoothing setting is whilst it is good and it does reduce the movement problem, if I tilt to look around something, I'm now at about 45 degrees tilt. You can't see that. It totally and utterly removes the tilt, which could be a bit of a problem because you sort of lose some of the feeling of what I'm doing. There are other options for the spectator mode though. For example, I'll show you off, okay? I will be quiet now, and I'm just going to adjust the headset, excuse me. And then I'm just going to step backwards and forwards on the spot so you can see the difference. And now I'm just going to look around. And you can probably see already that it's a lot shakier. However, now, if I tilt, you can see clearly. Now, what you should probably do when trying to judge the shaking is not look at the menu. This is very close, so any shaking is massively amplified. It's way better to look at the distant objects because that's probably where you're going to spend most of your time watching. You're going to be looking at enemies, etc. This is no smoothing. This is high smoothing. You're looking at, you know, my right hand eye, so you see up to about here. I've actually got a lot more vision because I've got my left eye, and it zooms in a little, and it needs to do that to get the smoothing. So, as I said, there are other options though. For example, medium. I think the medium's got about the same level of smoothing as high actually, or at least similar. I'm moving around a lot. I'm looking around, but it allows me to tilt. So you actually get some sense of tilt if I'm looking around objects, which I think could be important. And there is low. Now low is the default, and it's not that bad actually. If you pay most attention to distant objects rather than, say, close menu objects, I think the smoothing is probably enough as long as I'm not too aggressive. As soon as I start sort of fighting and shooting, it's probably going to get a lot more nauseating, which might mean, and I'm leaning towards this one at the moment, medium. Medium is going to allow me to do a bit of fighting, a bit of shooting, and glance around quickly. Do a bit of talking as well. Do a bit of talking and still let you focus on distant objects without feeling nauseous. That's kind of my hope. Obviously, I probably won't be talking as much with my hands and, like, you know, whilst playing the game. It'll be a little quieter and a little, you know, moving around. So it might not be as bad. Because, again, I will point out, talking is one of the worst things to do. Yeah, I know. It's going to make a Let's Play a little difficult, isn't it? Either that or I need to paralyse the top of my face so it doesn't move when I speak. Other options for Spectator mode also include the Spectator HUD. Now, by default, it came as medium. And what this does is it lets you see in-game, once I'm in-game, it lets you see what weapons I've got, how much ammo I've got, how much health I've got. But I don't see it because apparently I see it by looking at something in-game. I'd probably look at the weapon to find out the ammo. The only advantage I can think of with the heads-up display is it will let you know that I've got ammo in a weapon without me having to look at it. I'm not totally sure that's much of a benefit unless it's just so that you can tell me off for not using something you think I should have used. But overall, I think having a sort of uncluttered cinematic look is probably the better option. We're currently on medium smoothing. I'm going to put the smoothing for now back on high, just in case this is still nauseating. This will stop any tilts. That will almost certainly make the view way easier to look at. Other things, apart from the heads-up display as well, are the movement. The movement is set currently to blink. I can't change it until I get in game. Blink is where essentially I point somewhere and then press a button and I sort of essentially blink there. I teleport there. It's a lot easier on your stomach if you're not used to VR, but I'm used to VR now, so I could probably use normal movement. And I actually think normal movement is less nauseating for the spectator. I think blinking and teleporting can be very disorienting for you, the viewer. Whereas walking normally is usually disorienting for the person in VR. But again, I'm pretty good at VR, like handling it now, so I think I would like to do that. That will make the game tougher because I'm going to be running using the thumbstick on one of the controllers, and first of all, I'm not that good at that. But second of all, you don't move as fast. The blink is really quick, so if you need to get to cover over there, you just sort of bam, and you're there, and then you're shooting over the top of the car. Whereas I'll have to like run and get there. So I'm going to be more vulnerable doing that. But I think I prefer to play it like that, and I think it will be more viewable for you. All of the other options for things like climbing, snap turn. I'm not going to be using the turn function on the thumbstick. I've got cable management above me, so I can do full 360. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue. I won't be doing any sudden, like, 90-degree turns, because the snap turn has you going like bang, bang, and I actually find that really nauseating. But anyway, so that's it. And I am curious as to what you guys think. Should I leave it on high so you can't tilt? Shall I put it to medium so I can tilt? Shall I put it on low so you get faster response? Because, the more smoothing you have, the less response. So if I quickly move, when there's a lot of smoothing, there will be a delay. I don't think that's going to be that big a deal for the viewers, though. I think you'll be able to figure out if something's jumped out and I've gone, ah! You'll be like, yeah. We figured that one. So tell me what you think. Heads-up display, off or on? I'm leaning towards off. I don't think you need to know what weapons I'm carrying. I think it just gets in the way. I think, leaving it nice and clear. So you basically see what I see is the best option. Yeah? So anyway, leave your comments down below. Half-Life. It's been such a long time since I played a Half-Life game. This is very cool and very atmospheric. Yes, it is. I am actually really, really looking forward to this.